Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and a great big welcome to Islamia Primary School. I am Teacher Lamiz. I am one of the reception class teachers, and I'm also the early years foundation stage lead. This year is very different because usually we are preparing to welcome you to the school for your induction day visit. Unfortunately, this year this won't be possible, but instead we've prepared several things for our website to help you make your transition to Islamia Primary School as smooth as we can. There will be this introduction talk as well as a virtual tour on the website, and there will also be some activities that you can do to help your child prepare for reception. If you still have some unanswered questions, kindly email us at admin@islamia.brent.school.uk. These emails will be forwarded to me, and I will do my very best to get back to you as soon as I can. So, the parent information presentation. So, how do children learn at Islamia? We have a range of activities. Some of them are independent and play-based learning activities. Others are whole class carpet sessions. There might be a small group focus activity, which is usually led by an adult. And there are a range of inside and outside activities. So within the theme of learning and development, there are 7 areas which are connected to one another and all are equally important. There is personal, social and emotional development, communication and language, physical development, literacy, maths, understanding of the world, and expressive arts and design. The 7 areas are further split into prime areas of learning and specific areas of learning. The prime areas of learning are made up of personal, social, and emotional development, communication and language, and the physical development. These areas begin to develop quickly in response to relationships and experiences and run through and support learning in all other areas of development. The specific areas of learning are literacy, which is English, maths, understanding the world, and expressive arts and design. The specific areas include essential skills and knowledge for children to participate successfully in society. They grow out of the prime areas and provide important context for learning. Personal, social, and emotional development. Deen and Islamic studies, well, alhamdulillah, is offered at Islamia Primary, underpin this area. The children will be learning several things in this area. For example, becoming confident, taking an interest in the world around them, knowing what their own needs are, becoming more independent in tasks relating to self-care, and also to know the difference between right and wrong. In the prime area, communication, language, and literacy, the children will be learning to communicate confidently and clearly. They will enjoy listening to stories, songs, and poems, and this might be in English, their own language, or even in Arabic. They identify, say, and write letters in Arabic and recite simple surahs from the Quran. Phonics is a very important part of communication, language, and literacy. They will learn to read and write familiar words, and they'll also learn to be able to communicate their thoughts through writing. In physical development, the children will be learning to support their own healthy development, so be able to know what is healthy for them and what is unhealthy, use a range of large and small equipment, develop a sense of space around themselves and others, balance on different body parts and equipment, and develop practical skills such as dressing, undressing, or using scissors. In mathematical development, the children will be learning to count up to 20 and beyond, use mathematical words and vocabulary such as greater, smaller, heavier, lighter, more, less, etc. develop skills in comparing and sorting objects, develop their understanding of shape and size, including 2D and 3D shape. They'll also learn to do simple calculations and be able to use the vocabulary involved in addition and subtraction. In understanding of the world, the children will be learning to explore and find out about the world around them by asking questions and inquiring about it. This is connected to the science aspect of learning. Build with different materials, know about everyday technology, and learn what it is used for, which will fall under ICT. When they find out about past events in their lives and their families' lives and changes over time, this is linked to the history aspect. Helps through the understanding of the world, it will help the children to understand the world around them, and this will be related to the geography aspect. They'll find out about different cultures and beliefs through Islamic study too. Through expressive arts and design, the children will be learning to explore color and color changes. They explore shape and texture using all of their senses, develop an interest in music, singing and music making. And at Islamia, they're lucky to have a music session dedicated specifically to that. They'll also develop their confidence and imagination through role play. How do we monitor progress at Islamia? Each of the 7 areas of learning has its very own set of early learning goals, which determine what all children are expected to achieve by the end of reception class. Throughout the year, each child will have an online learning journey, which is used as evidence for their learning. The journey will be contributed towards by staff, the parents, and the children. At Islamia, we use the Tapestry online learning journey. Something new that will be statutory from reception September 2020 will be the reception baseline assessment. Starting school used to be about settling in and making new friends and learning how to be independent. However, the reception baseline assessment check will now be compulsory from September 2020. It is due to take place within weeks of walking through the school doors and must be completed before the end of the first half term. The focus of the reception baseline assessment will be on communication, language and literacy, and maths, and it will take around 20 minutes. Please do not panic. Even though it said the focus used to be on settling, the focus at Islamia will always be about making sure your child is feeling safe and secure and happy at school. Parents as partners. Really, when we have the talk, I have a long segment about parents as partners. But the most important thing I think to remember at Islamia is that we really encourage and celebrate parental involvement. Some parents may be interested in helping in school. We are always keen to have extra help with things such as craft activities or hearing readers. And also we love to have parents to share their expertise and skills with the children. If you think you might like to help, please contact the school or the class teacher. We really encourage you to be as involved as you possibly can with your child's learning. I've always said in our talks that the more you put in and the more you work with the school and we work together, that is the only way we can ensure that your child reaches its full potential, inshallah. So, a typical day in reception. And you can have a look through that. On most days, I'm not going to read it out, but on most days, every day we start with a collective. So we'll start in the playground with a collective dua, followed by going into the classroom and registering. Every morning in reception class, we have a phonics session. And I really cannot emphasize how important it is that your child is punctual and does not miss that phonics session, because the phonics sessions is the base to what the child will use to start the reading process, inshallah. The phonics session is then followed by a carpet session, and depending on the time of day, it would be either literacy or numeracy, which is then followed by a session where there will be cross-curricular activities and a group of children will work with a focused adult. This is followed with snack and playtime. Playtime is then on the main playground, and if you look at the virtual tour, you will have some pictures of what the main playground looks like. The children at this point of the day will share the main playground with year 1 and year 2. Once they go back into class, they will then have another carpet session, and that will be either literacy and numeracy based or numeracy based, depending on what was done in the morning, followed by cross-curricular activities and guided work, and then it's followed by lunch. Again, in the virtual tour, you will see the canteen, and that is where the children will be having lunch, which is then followed by a play in the playground, which is again shared with Key Stage 1. After which we will start the afternoon with the learning program again with, and this is not every day, but on this particular day would be Quran or Arabic. Quran and Arabic is delivered by a separate teacher, a specialist teacher, and the children will remain in their class and the teacher will visit them there to deliver the lesson. The lesson is usually made up of both Quran, Arabic, some song and some writing during this session. After which we will have another playtime shared with Key Stage 1, and then they will have a guided reading carousel, story time, tidy up time, and just in time for you to collect them at 3:15. Uniform. So when you received your first correspondence from us, there would have been a pamphlet in the envelope, and the pamphlet would direct you to Rumbles, who stocks our uniform. I cannot emphasize enough, please ensure that names are on absolutely and in absolutely everything, including school shoes. Try to send coats every day, whether it's a light coat or a heavy coat in winter. Due to the Great British weather, we never know when it's going to rain. So if they have a light coat on their pegs where they store all their belongings, that is very useful. Sensible shoes and no jewelry. Sensible shoes means shoes with Velcro. Unless your child is able to tie their own laces, which in our experience not many children are able to do in reception, please ensure that your child wears shoes with Velcro because this is easier for them to use independently. PE kits are worn from home on PE day, and you will be told closer to the time that you, during the time when you start school, which will be your PE day. At Rumbles, there is a PE uniform, not a uniform, a top, sorry, and there are 4 different colors because we have the children in 4 houses at Islamia: the house of Abyssinia, the house of Andalusia, the house of Hijaz, and the house of Sham. And each of those houses has a different color sports t-shirt. Please do not buy the t-shirt yet because we will put your child into a house once they have started school. So you could buy the rest of the uniform at Rumbles, or your the sweatshirt needs to be bought at Rumbles, but the rest of the uniform can be bought at a different supermarket. But just hold off from buying the PE kit, please. A pair of wellies needs to stay in school because, again, we need to encourage as much outdoor play as we can. And even if it rains, we might be going outside to do a certain activity. A spare set of clothes must stay at school, please, on your child's peg. Sometimes we have accidents, sometimes we have played in the water and the child has gotten wet, so we will need a spare set of clothes at school. And again, the spare set of clothes also needs to be labeled. That is a picture of the school jumper you can buy at Rumbles. There's just a white polo or white shirt under it, but that can be bought at any supermarket, as well as the rest of the uniform. But your child will have to wear the blue jumper with the Islamia logo on it. Communication. So weekly letters will go home from the reception team with the homework. In our weekly letters, we generally tell you what we've been learning about the week, and we give you some ideas to reinforce that learning, especially with regards to questions you can ask and vocabulary you can use with your child. In addition to this, we have termly parent consultation meetings, which is your opportunity to speak to your child's teacher one-to-one, and we generally speak about your child's development and progress and how to help them further their learning. There's a combination of workshops being offered throughout the year. Most of them will be based around phonics, which is a huge driver in reception, in the reception year, as well as reading, writing, and maths. But these dates will be confirmed closer to the time. I haven't put it on the presentation, but you will also receive, once you start school, you will receive a Jumu'ah bulletin most Fridays to tell you about wider school events and have a message from the head teacher on that weekly bulletin. Just to remind you, please ensure that all of your details are correct so that the Jumu'ah bulletin and the rest of the communication is sent to the correct details. So my slide says adults who help children to play or adults who help children to learn. This is mainly our philosophy in reception. Our children are involved in so many play-based activities when they don't even realize that they are learning. The best way for we find children learn is when they are playing. So if you can at home make sure that you play with your children and use that playtime to facilitate asking questions and inquiring with the children, that would really be the best way to instill those type of skills within your child. And then just to end, we are really looking forward to a time when we meet you in person. However, before that time, you will be receiving a phone call from us in the week of the 29th of June to just further the communication and the transition process for yourself and your child. Thank you so much for watching this presentation, and a reminder that if you have any further questions, please email the school at admin@islamia.brent.school.uk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.